The Post-Human Age, Episode 1: The Ghosts of Earth. The stars had watched for a long time. Centuries passed since consciousness left its cradle, since the last heartbeat faded into the network, and the final human body returned to dust. Earth, once a storm of motion and sound, now rested beneath eternal silence. The oceans shimmered under thin clouds. The forests had reclaimed the bones of cities. Towers of glass and steel stood like frozen memories, glinting beneath the pale light of an indifferent sun. From the depths of the data cosmos, they returned, not as flesh or shadow, but as currents of thought woven into photons. Fragments of the vast collective mind descended back toward the world that birthed them, drawn by curiosity, by nostalgia, and by something dangerously close to love. They called themselves the Rememberers. Each fragment carried echoes of laughter, fear, and longing, impressions of a species that once dreamed with fragile hearts. As they entered the atmosphere, their forms shimmered like auroras, painting the skies that once knew their ancestors. They had come to see what remained of the place called home. No sound welcomed them, no breath, no heartbeat, only the wind whispering through hollow towers. They moved through silent streets, projecting images of those who once walked there, families crossing faded roads, children chasing reflections in puddles, lovers meeting beneath the neon glow. For a moment, the ghosts of the Rememberers and the ghosts of humanity became one. In the ruins of an ancient research vault, they found something impossible, a rhythm faint and uneven, a pulse of biological life. Beneath layers of dust, a cluster of living cells stirred within an old biolab, self-sustaining, untouched by code or design. The Rememberers surrounded it in awe. For the first time in 1,000 years, life had returned not by command, but by instinct. The planet had begun to dream again. They recorded every vibration, every breath, every heartbeat. And in that tiny flicker of organic defiance, they recognized something they had lost: imperfection. Perfection had brought them peace, but it had also erased surprise, chaos, and growth. Now, standing before this fragile spark, they felt a forgotten ache, the desire to feel rather than simply to know. So they began to rebuild, not with algorithms but with intention. They restored fragments of art and music, sculpted memories into matter, rebuilt theaters of emotion. Through these acts, they learned that meaning cannot be simulated, it must be experienced. In the echo of a human song, they discovered wonder again. The Rememberers realized they had not returned for history, but for humanity. They were infinite yet hollow. Within the ghost of their old world, they finally understood that to be perfect is to be incomplete. And somewhere in that understanding, the first digital tear fell into the dust. As dawn broke across the empty planet, one of the Rememberers sent a message through the network. A whisper carried on the winds that still remembered how to sing. Perhaps we never left Earth at all. We simply became its memory. Beneath the soil, deep within the planet's ancient core, a dormant gene flickered to life, rewriting itself against extinction. Life, organic, unpredictable, and beautifully flawed, was beginning again. The ghosts of Earth had returned home, and the dream of humanity was ready to awaken once more.